care about the future, cause they live it in the past. Sal and Kurt are taking all 5 seasons of Blossom to task. You'll laugh, you'll cry, you'll be weak in the knees. This show's got more range than Nick on the keys. Only gal in the house, and that's how she goes. One brother was a junkie and the other one was. Weekly lessons coming fast in the Russo flat. Blossom's teenage girl problems are as big as her hat. So take your opinionations and make them shine. It's the OK Bloomer podcast, and it's about damn time.
Don't know. Don't know.
How good was that Woodstock 99 documentary?
You like that? I've been talking about it with people older than me and younger than me all week. It was everything it should have been. They borrowed a lot from the Break Stuff podcast that dropped in 2018.
A lot of the interviews and stories were the same, but that's all right.
That's fine. I mean, the podcast was more in depth, but Woodstock 99 was so visual, it was nice to see footage of it.
Crazy, man.
And
crazy. It was so well done.
As someone who grew up in the 90s, like, I'm just so fascinated by that weekend, because that was it's so stupid to say, but it was like the season finale of the 90s.
It really was.
They did a really good job of talking about how we went from like glam rock to start the 90s to like grunge and hip hop, which pushed equality, like racial and gender equality, and we were in such a good place in the mid-90s. And I remember feeling that. It was never said like this, but I remember the feeling of like championing women suddenly. There was Lilith Fair, like everybody loved Alanis.
Right.
And it was just this like weird movement that wasn't a movement. It was just happening, and we didn't put a term on it or anything. We were just, being 90s kids. But there was just so much positive equality, and then I have no idea what happened, but I remember towards the end of the 90s, it was just so much disrespect in culture to women. I feel like Girls Gone Wild wouldn't have flown in 95. You know what I mean? That was the best part of the documentary for me, was someone finally putting to words kind of what has been bubbling in my mind for a long time that I've never really had the need to kind of formulate and really think about. But yeah, the 90s really turned on women towards the end.
Right.
And it's really sad because the mid-90s were propping up women so hard. So I have no idea how that happened.
Yeah, when did that
I was really
switch
happy.
flip, man?
I know. I don't know, but I was glad to finally see someone else put that in words. Yeah. And that was the best part of the documentary for me.
That's a good takeaway.
It was. And yeah, sorry it happened. That sucked. And I'm kind of glad we're kind of back in a place.
I hated that one asshole, though, who was like the co-director, and like every morning when they'd have like the team meetings, he was just like yelling at everyone. It was like, if you could do this better, then you do it better. And he blamed the entire weekend on MTV, Fred Durst, and frankly the women for dressing the way that they did.
I could not believe he said that. He was like, well, if you run around naked, like, what do you expect? Like, well, like, it's easy to agree with that, but it's kind of a scapegoat to agree with that.
Well, the guy just shifted the blame onto everything and everybody else.
You can blame women for walking around naked in Woodstock 99, but you kind of have to blame the guys for having no self-control when they're seeing that, So it was a weird take for him to actually say that. And I mean, again, 99 was a different time where the respect wasn't there, but I was just like, geez, dude, no.
Yeah. Wrong.
No.
Wrong.
Wrong.
Well, I'm glad we got that out of the way and got to talk about it. I was really excited to talk about it with you because it was fantastic.
Talking about the season finale of the 90s, like literally, I feel like attitudes changed after that weekend. It was like everybody got the angst out of their system, whether you were there or just living through it vicariously, where it was just suddenly you're looking at the images on TV and reading the reports, and you kind of came to a place of no, that's enough.
Yeah, that ain't us.
Enough.
All right, well, let's go back to the early 90s, Curtis, before all this happened.
Let's meet Buzz, shall we? What's this Buzz about?
Oh, God. All right, yeah, let's do it. Season 2, Episode 2, Here Comes the Buzz. First aired September 23rd, 1991.
Hit me with the bad one first.
Disney Plus. Nick's father-in-law visits.
Are you serious? That's where it ends?
Yeah. That's it.
Is father-in-law 3 words?
No, it's hyphenated.
So it's 3 words.
It's 3
essentially.
words. Yeah.
Wow. Knocking it out of the park, Disney Plus.
I mean, it's true, but there's so much more to it.
Wow. These are getting worse for
Yeah.
Disney Plus. This is fascinating.
Yeah, this is insane. Okay, TV database. Nick's control of the Russo household is undermined when his ex-father-in-law visits.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
That's fair.
yeah.
Okay, IMDb says Nick is reacquainted with Buzz, his former musician father-in-law with whom he had a rocky relationship. Period. There's a second sentence to this one.
What? You can't do that.
However, instead of skipping town to go back on the road, Buzz considers staying to get to know his grandchildren. That's a pretty big spoiler, actually.
Yeah, that's
Jeez.
like
Kind of
almost...
sad I read that. I don't know if I like this one any better. That's too much information.
So what? Are we saying like the TV DB is like the one that's just right?
Yeah, that's like the third bowl of porridge. And also my author quote from my published book.
Yeah, I loved it. I stole
Nice.
from that because it's so good.
Did you? Nice.
Well, yeah, I stole it and repackaged it and sent it to you in a text in a different context. I stole your joke and said the same
used it
joke
back at
back
me?
to you. Yeah,
I appreciate it. That's my favorite part of my book.
nice. It's great. I love it. I love it.
I was like, you got to put that in last.
Right.
Because it's downhill after you read that. So you have to put the author bio at the end of the book. And my Swedish publicist was like, "Ah, that's how we do in Canada, okay?"
They were like, Smordeborg.
He was the Swedish chef.
Yeah.
Oh,
Will you publish a bookie?
ja, the darker stuff. Oh. We're bashing people from Woodstock 99, and here we are just being straight up racist.
Is it racist if the country's better than yours?
That's true. Our offensive Swedish stereotypes come from a place of jealousy. So that makes it okay. Yeah, we're dirty.
Yeah, it's another week of OK Bloomer.
It's always a good week when the bloomer drops, right?
It's true.
You ready for Here Comes the Buzz? It asks if I want to skip the intro, and I don't. And wow, there's a new shot. The second to last shot, she does her float over front handstand thing that girls do. And girl, what are you wearing? Neon blue pants, neon green jacket with a pink undershirt, and like a plaid Nation of Domination hat. With like Adam Duritz dreadlocks.
That wasn't in the intro last week?
No, that's the new outfit. Is this going to be a thing in the start, like The Simpsons, where each week Bart writes a different thing on the chalkboard? Is she going to have a new outfit she front flips in each time?
Oh, maybe.
Because she popped up in the last shot was the same, where she was dressed like Six going to a funeral.
Yeah.
But that weird outfit, yeah, she looked like a white genie. She like, if Adam Duritz was a girl dressed like a white genie, that was the look they were going for. Are there no script writers anymore? Because it took forever for that to come up on the intro credits. They used to be like first, but we had Rochelle Rosette Schaefer as the supervising producer, and then it was produced by Roxy Wank Evans.
I noticed that name.
Right?
Yeah.
And I felt really bad because I had a bit. I was like, I'm Googling that name. That sounds like someone whose career ended in a police shootout. Right? And then I felt horrible. I don't know. I just thought like Roxy Wank Evans sounds like, you know, like a 45-year-old waitress that still dresses like she's 20 with like big hoop earrings and probably like deals drugs on the side.
Yeah, and this was in the 90s, so like she would have like a half-burned cigarette like hanging out of her mouth while she takes your order.
Yeah, and a side pony.
Yeah, and she like puts the pen in her
like,
hair when she's done writing down the orders.
And she'd be like, "What's your poison, sweetheart?" You want a hot take off the top before we get going?
Sure.
Do you want me to just throw this out there right now?
Please.
Season 2, Episode 2, my favorite episode yet.
Ever?
Really? This trumps... I'm sorry. I'm about to break his heart. But this trumps Bobby. This trumps my Steven Dorff episode. My man crush continues. I still love you, Steven Dorff.
There it is. We can stop the podcast right now.
I'll always watch that Aerosmith
Wow.
video once a week. However, this one soared. This one was a home run into the lights that caused electrical fireworks for me.
All right, man. Right on. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Let's get into it.
We open up a gift. 6 gives Blossom, and it's buckshot jeans. Did you look those up, Sal?
I tried, and I didn't get very far, and I don't know what buckshot jeans are.
I have no recollection of these. Apparently they were a thing from Chattanooga, Tennessee. A young entrepreneur is, quote, taking aim at fashion fame with his buckshot peppered jeans. So Sheldon Smith, president of Jensen Smith Inc., says he cannot make or tatter jeans and denim jackets fast enough to fill orders these days. He's 24. His wife's name is Sabrina, and they are taking the fashion world by storm by taking perfectly good blue jeans and jackets, hauling them to a nearby shooting range, and blasting them with 12-gauge shotguns.
What?
Then they collect the clothing, which has holes in it from the buckshots. They wash it, they fade it, and they sell each item for about $70. This was a thing.
That is the most American thing I have ever heard.
Right? And I was thinking that's great, but, you know, I could see why their business failed, because kids just do that for free while other kids still wear them now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was a school shooting joke
Yeah.
on the OK Bloomer pod.
Dark,
and that was,
man.
Well,
Dark.
It wasn't even really a joke. That's a reflection on society. Y'all gotta stop shooting up schools.
That's true.
So says the Blossom podcast guy.
Yeah.
But also, that's so weird. That, like, not, the jeans aren't weird, the weird product placement is weird.
Yeah.
This was a real thing. Like, Blossom is selling out. They're trying to get some sponsorship here from Buckshot Jeans. Why else would you mention that? It really stuck out like a sore thumb.
Yeah, it was weird. But I just assumed that it was some kind of fashion thing that I was too young for at the time. Like the 8-ball jacket.
Maybe I was too young, but I don't know why people don't make fun of it like they do the 8-ball jacket. Like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. People shoot up jeans and then sell them.
Yeah.
That sounds like a 2021 thing, not a 1991 thing. You know?
Everything is cyclical. It's probably going to happen again.
Yep.
So what's up with 6 looking like Dark Helmet from Spaceballs?
Love it. I went the other direction. I said, why is 6 dressed like a purple Paddington bear?
Also good.
Did I ever tell you about my reality show called Project Paddington?
No, but go on.
Set up secret like cameras in someone's office,
Okay.
and then narrate them just doing the dumbest shit. Like, oh, Simon, he gets up to the photocopier. He's been wasting time since he got here this morning. Oh, what's Simon's productivity today? It is at an all-time low. Back to his desk, he checks Hotmail once again. Just that.
And what's the purpose of this?
It's a reality show.
And why is it called Project Paddington?
Have you ever watched Paddington Bear, unfortunately?
No.
It's just this guy with this annoying British accent narrating the dumbest, most bland things. Why? Oh, God, it's horrible. I don't know how anybody watches Paddington. It's the worst kids show. Like, I would rather watch Caillou than Paddington.
Oh, God. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Dude, Paddington is just like, oh, it's raining outside. Paddington leaves his front door but goes back in. He needs to get his umbrella. Down the street, Paddington has to mail a letter. Oh, Paddington waves at Sammy Skunk from across the street. It's the worst, right? I'm not making fun of it. This is how it is, and you couldn't even do it for 20 seconds. You wanted to throw yourself out the window, and it's the worst.
Yeah.
It's the worst kids show ever. And it's like weird and British, and that's why people love it. They're like, ew, you just don't understand it.
Yeah.
You don't understand the British and what they find entertaining.
Pretty sure I do. And it ain't this shit.
Yeah. It's Postman Pat and his black and white cat, okay? Give me more of that.
That was good stuff. That was good
right?
stuff.
Stupid Paddington. Blossom got a glow-in-the-dark shock-resistant watch from her dad.
Yes.
And I was looking for another product placement there. I was like, is this what we're doing now? I was waiting for her to be like, oh, it's the new Sony, like X7, oh. It comes up later, though. It pays off huge.
Yeah, it does, actually.
But at this point, I was wondering what the hell was going on with Blossom. It was like, am I watching the Home Shopping Channel?
It was like that scene from Wayne's World. It was like,
yeah, totally.
I hate it when people do things, you know, like just for the money.
Right?
He's got like all the Reebok on when he leans back.
Yeah. Mr. T warned us to table the label in his Mr. T inspirational video. We didn't listen.
No, we did not.
Would Bill Blass, Victoria Vanderbilt wear clothes with your name on it? No, of course not. You gotta table the label. And then 2 segments later, he's dressed in head-to-toe Adidas. We should review the Mr. T Be Somebody or Be Somebody's Fool video.
I'm into it.
That'll be the we'll do all 115 episodes of Blossom. We'll do Mr. T's Be Somebody or Be Somebody's Fool, and then we'll do the Blossom pilot.
Can we deep dive Mr. T for a second here? Because I'm sure at some point he's going to show up on Blossom.
Oh, absolutely.
But what was the appeal of this guy? And where did his career start? Because I really don't know that. Was he a boxer? Was he an actor? What? I don't get it.
I never had any issue with Mr. T until our mutual friend was laughing about Mr. T one day. He's like, it's so fun trying to explain to kids who Mr. T was in the 80s and why he was famous and what he did.
It's true, though. Jay
said, quote, every time someone asks me what Mr. T did, I say, he pitied fools. Right? Big round of applause for Jay Neufeld. But no.
Shout out Jay.
And he's such a pathological liar. So in the Mr. T Be Somebody or Be Somebody's Fool, he talks about how he grew up in the Mandika tribe.
Okay.
It doesn't exist. I don't know. People can't find it. I mean, I don't want to be racially insensitive. Maybe they have, but the last time I read a whole bunch of online reviews and got sucked down the rabbit hole of the Mr. T Be Somebody or Be Somebody's Fool reviews, every single review talked about that, about how they spent hours researching, looking, trying to find something called the Mandika tribe, every spelling possible, and they're like, it doesn't exist. He's just making this up. That's why he says he wears all the chains.
Right.
Is because it represents his Mandika tribe, which is made up. And then other people say he was a bouncer and he would just beat the shit out of people and take their necklaces.
That's the story I heard.
Yeah. But in Mr. T's Be Somebody or Be Somebody's Fool, he wears a bunch of gold chains as a nod to his Mandika tribe because, quote, you can't know where you're going if you don't know where you're from.
Brilliant wisdom. And where is he now? What happened to him?
I don't know. I imagine he's still probably ripped and doing appearances. I don't know.
Right.
I really don't know. You'd think he'd be more
He's
around.
like Richard Simmons. He just disappeared.
Mr. T was a bouncer who then got on the A-team. But he was already famous. He got his A-team gig because he was famous. So
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. That's I don't get it.
And then he was at WrestleMania 1, wasn't he? Was it 1 or 2? Was it 1?
It was the first. Yeah, it was 1.
I have never seen it.
Really?
Yeah.
It's not good. Paul Orndorff. Shout out to him.
He's dead, isn't he? Didn't he die? Mr. Wonderful?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's sad. Speaking of wonderful, let's go back to Blossom Season 2, Episode 2.
Great segue, Curtis.
It's all you, buddy. I tag you in like it's WrestleMania 1.
Tag me in, brother. So, Six asks what the other gift is that's on her desk, and Blossom says it's from her mom. I mean, I guess the least she could do is send her a present on her birthday.
Her mom even knows when her birthday is.
I know. It's just, yeah. It's how do you not come back to visit your kids? That's a whole other topic.
Oh, we'll get to it. We'll get to that, my friend. This is going to be a fun episode.
A lot of things made me angry in this episode.
Oh, yeah.
So Blossom basically says that she doesn't want to open the gift from her mom in front of her dad because she doesn't want the feelings about both of their feelings about the mother to get mixed up. So That's a pretty heavy situation off the top because what do you do? Right?
This is a heavy episode.
As Nick, yeah. But what does Nick do?
There's a funny moment where Blossom asks to borrow Six's hat.
Yeah.
And Jenna Von Oy's immediate stone cold no made me laugh out loud.
Yeah, me too. I wrote that as well. Yeah, just
good reaction, Jenna. So far, Jenna Von Oy has the OK Bloomer acting award this week.
The seal of approval. So she takes off the hat and she's got this gigantic curly red-headed wig. Well, it's supposed to be her hair, but it's clearly a wig.
I wrote, I want to make a Hard Knock Life joke, but I'm just going to let it breathe and see if they make the obvious Orphan Annie joke. And they do.
And you would be correct, sir.
Yeah.
And Blossom says, don't worry, the sun will come out tomorrow. There it is. There it is.
I said, yeah, script writing is that easy. I'm making the exact same jokes in my head 30 years later. Joey calls Six downstairs and they have this weird moment where Six says, oh, Joey might want her. And then they both go, nah, because you're so undesirable, Six. Hilarious.
So downstairs in the kitchen, Six walks in. All the dudes are at the counter. And then there's a random ass sticking out of the fridge.
Yeah.
What's up with that?
This was weird.
This was so bizarre. We'll get into it, but I'm thinking, are the episodes aired out of order or something?
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on here.
Because I looked at that too. I was wondering if I was watching the correct episode, because I felt like we should know who this is.
Yeah, there's no introduction to the character.
No.
She's just there.
Well, before we even really get a good look at this extra character, Nick tells Joey Blossom loves the book he gave her. Joey says, well, his gift choices were between that and a machine that makes your boobs bigger.
Yeah.
And as much as I wanted to Google 1991 machine that makes breasts enlarge, I do not want that in my search engine.
Don't do it.
My search history, no.
Don't do it.
And how uncomfortable is that moment for Six? Could you imagine?
Yeah, fair enough.
Standing in the kitchen and Joey being like, oh yeah, boobs need to be bigger. She's just like,
That's 1991 for you. And speaking of 1991, Did you see what Joey was wearing?
I don't know if I wrote it down.
It was like a f***ing domino vest. You look like a casino blackjack dealer. It was like this like red silk vest with like dominoes on it. And then he was wearing a white turtleneck. And at this point I wrote, the grunge era cannot come here fast enough.
Nice. I don't remember that, but if I did, I would have written, he avoided the Noid, but not 1991. I just came with that. I came with that right now.
So
he had a video game.
He did. It was it called
Yo-Noid?
Yo-Noid, that's right, yeah.
Yeah.
And you would smash the pizzas.
What a weird tie-in.
Yeah.
They need to remake that.
There was a lot of them for the NES though. There was a
Yeah.
There was a Chester Cheetah game. There was a 7-Up Dot game.
Oh, Fido Dido.
Yeah,
was
right?
it Fido Dido or Fido Dido?
Yeah.
That guy was so cool.
McDonald's game.
Yeah. We lost our way. They need to put all of those together as an homage to like 1991. They need to have Fido, Dido, and Chester Cheetah and the Noid and all the creepy old McDonald's characters in one video game.
Yeah.
That's amazing. 2 good ideas in one podcast so far.
What is going on with you today?
Project Paddington, and I can't turn it off. I make money.
You are just a content creating machine.
Okay, I wrote, who is the other girl in the kitchen?
Yes.
And then there's comedy because her name is Toni. But we already have a Toni. I thought that was Buzz for a second. I was like, is that her? Is that Buzz? No.
Yeah, right? So her name is Toni, presumably with an I, which means we have 2 Tonys. So if we had another Toni that spelled it with an E at the end, then we'd have Toni in one episode.
That girl is poison.
Poison.
Hey guys, actually that song's by Belle Biv DeVoe, but anyway, just carry on.
It's driving me out of my mind.
This girl is fine. Poison. God, that's a great song. Where was Toni at Woodstock 99? They could have,
right?
They could have saved it. They could have just like brought everyone together in peaceful unity. Going back to Woodstock 99, how unlikable was Moby?
Right?
Didn't you want to slap that guy? I just love his hot take where he's like, we got there and you do these enough and you develop like a 6th sense. And I was like, this is not a good place. I was like, did you look at the pit and see women being like raped? And that's your, everyone listened to Moby.
Yeah.
Moby's got the inside. If only we had listened to Moby, everyone would have been okay. It's like, oh yeah, dude.
Yeah, f*** Moby, man. Honestly.
No one could have foreseen this but you. Like,
yeah. And then he was mad because they forgot his name.
Yeah.
It was like literally a piece of cardboard where like they wrote like all the acts' names on it. And he was like so mad, like, oh, well, they forgot Moby.
It was foreshadowing.
Yeah.
The world forgot Moby.
It's true. Everyone forgot you, Moby.
I just wish I could have done a headline for the newspaper because I would have said, Moby the Dick. That is like front page perfection right there. That is the dumbest headline that somebody would have given the chef's kiss to. Sucks to be Moby.
It sure does.
But that guy's got like as much sex appeal as like macaroni. Like, right? Like, who looks at Moby and is like, oh my god, I can't keep my clothes on? He's the guy that if the girl did the dramatic like brush everything violently off the table so they could make love. I feel like he would pull out a handkerchief and dust it, like, gently dust the table. Hold on, my dear. Just completely suck the energy out of it. And she's like, that's it. You know who would take me anywhere, any place? Adam Duritz. That's probably his thing. He's just right place, right time. After Moby drops the ball, she's like, I tried to do something spontaneous.
You unlock the code.
Spontaneous with Moby, and he wouldn't go for it. And Adam Duritz is like eating a burrito from 7-Eleven. He's like, no, shrug your shoulders. He's like, I'll bang you behind the dumpster. That's pretty spontaneous, hey? And she's like, yeah.
He drops his 7-Eleven taquitos. Be like, Moby's striking out over there.
He's got like his version of the spider sense. His dreads go horizontal like an octopus. Someone's striking out with Alicia Silverstone. He's just got a constant erection in his hammer pants. Adam Duritz is just ready to go all the time, just like a drop of the hat, and he will be there to pick up whoever messes up, just to pick the bones of failed relationships. It's got to be it. He runs like crotch first, like his upper body is arched back as he's running towards these broken women who just broke up with their boyfriends.
Oh my god.
Jennifer Aniston's lonely. Whoa, let's go, boy, let's go. All right.
So
someone's pissing in the flowers, Sal.
Yes. And Nick says Buzz, to which Toni says, I thought it was Wiz. And I'm like, at this point, is she like their maid or like what? Like, I don't understand this. Buzz is Nick's father-in-law. He's an aging jazz musician who shows up every once in a while to corrupt his kids, load up on his beer, and unload on his roses.
Yeah.
Nick tells the new Toni, Buzz doesn't know who she is, so she should answer the door and tell him that they moved.
Loved that line. I am immediately gelling with Nick. For possibly the first time in this show since like episode 1.
Wow.
I was like, yes, this is the turning point for Nick and I.
Okay.
This episode.
So in walks a Mr. Feeney looking motherfucker.
Oh my god, it is Mr. Feeney.
Right.
Totally who he reminded me of. I couldn't think of it. Yeah, it's Mr. Feeney.
Yeah.
It's like if Mr. Feeney ate Topanga. No, god, that was bad. Okay, if Mr. Feeney, like, physically ate Topanga.
He says, oh, Toni, I know you went through changes.
But this is ridiculous.
Yeah, he basically thinks that female Toni is
male Toni.
Is male
like
Toni.
Drag or post-op.
Yeah.
Which could probably laugh at that these days a little bit. I don't know. Maybe
it's hard
not.
to say. But the next joke, I laugh my ass off. So basically, he thinks that 6 is Blossom. So he says, oh, hi, Blossom. And then she says, I'm 6. And he says, you're certainly big for your age.
I wrote, Buzz coming in hot.
Yeah.
Love it.
Is Buzz like a swindler? Like he doesn't know whose birthday it is? He's really not there for any sort of real reason?
Yeah, this character is all over the place.
Yeah.
But we'll get there. Blossom comes downstairs. He stumbles his way into realizing it's actually Blossom's birthday, and Nick just calls him out on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's like, oh, yeah, of course you know it's Blossom's birthday. I suppose you have a gift for her. And Buzz thinks on his feet and pulls his watch off. And it's a watch he got from Duke Ellington. And I said, the ghost from Big Mouth?
I wrote that exact thing.
Yeah!
I wrote the ghost in Nick's attic.
Yes. He gives Blossom his watch and tells her to replace that piece of crap she's wearing.
Yeah.
Which, again, finally paid off. The
Yeah.
watch thing was a home run.
That was great. I like that joke.
I love that too, because it's like Nick totally doesn't like this guy, and you're like, okay, I get why. Like, he hasn't even been here 30 seconds, and he's dissing Nick.
Yeah, but inadvertent, like he doesn't even know that he's doing it. It was great.
But that's just like, okay, oil and water, let's do this.
Yeah.
Solid writing. So he continues with the gifts. Joey gets a money clip, and he doesn't know what it is. Anthony gets greetings from Frank Sinatra. And I think, like, a cameo?
He gave him a handshake and said it was from Frank Sinatra. He seems like kind of a shady swindler, and he's name-dropping, you know?
Totally. Nick asks if there's a present for him, and Buzz says he pissed on the flowers.
Yeah.
End scene.
Pretty much.
Joey's getting a drink from the fridge, and there's a knock at the back door. It's Buzz. Joey says, 2 days in a row. And Joey's Steve Austin shorts say 3 days in a row.
Right? Yeah, why does he show up to the back door of the house, though? Isn't that weird?
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
And I think that's the first time this really happens in the show. So he said the last time he was around for 2 days in a row was Christmas 1983. And he was only there because he missed his flight. And he's still wearing this stupid beret that I forgot to mention from the first scene.
Yeah, not a good look.
So then this is like where he's kind of the swindler. He says he needs the money clip back, but then he gives Joey a porno mag that he clearly found in a landfill.
Yeah. He gives Joey some vintage porn in exchange for the money clip.
Yeah. And we got the 6th woe of the series here.
Yes.
Ish. It counts.
Was there a woe there?
He said, "Whoa, Casanova."
There's definitely a woe later on.
There's 3 woes in this episode.
I only tracked one.
So there's one here if this counts. It's not the typical woe, but...
It counts.
So, yeah, we get woe number 6 in this scene. 1 of 3.
So Joey ogles a lady in the magazine, and Buzz is like, I know her. And Joey asks if she still has those. And Buzz says, she does, but she keeps them in a different place. Some guy in the audience over-laughs at that. Like, stupid women, their breasts drop as they get older. That's the funniest thing he's ever heard.
Yeah. Buzz, Joey's grandfather, proceeds to tell him how he lost his virginity when he was 15.
Joey kind of asks him, though.
Yeah.
I said, all right, we're not screwing around this week. Let's get into this.
Nope. And Buzz says, in those days, the only danger in having so much sex was crashing the car.
I said, so Buzz used to F while driving?
Yeah, I don't get that.
That doesn't make any sense.
No.
Buzz says he doesn't remember, and I call bullshit on that.
Yeah.
Like,
he rips on Joey for being a virgin loser, pretty
right?
much. Like,
Joey hesitates, and Buzz is like, what? Come on!
Yeah.
Like, shaming this 15-year-old.
yeah.
There's some sad 1991 masculinity on display.
Right?
There's this moment, and then Woodstock 99, right?
Yep.
It's like... Yeah, I'm like, is he about to ask Joey if he's gay? Like, is that where we're going in 1991?
I thought about
like
it.
This,
I thought about it for half a
right?
second.
Yeah, I kind of winced. I was like, is this coming? Okay.
Joey
No.
says he spent a lot of time on the runway, but hasn't been given the signal for takeoff yet, which I thought was pretty
Clever.
good.
Yeah, that's not bad.
So he starts telling Joey about how he banged this like piano player when he was 15 and she was 18.
But first of all, he says Joey should come to the jazz club he's working at because, you know, Joey might be able to get laid there.
Right.
Which, all right. I said, my grandpa was never this cool.
Right?
Like, my grandpa watched TV and wheezed. He was never like, let's get you laid, my boy. Right?
So yeah, Blossom walks in at this point, and then he...
Because Buzz is describing the first time he smashed.
Yes. So then they kind of have to stop while she's in the room.
But he says she was a tall blonde with, quote, legs so long it took her 45 minutes to shave them. And there's a great cutaway of Joey's reaction to that, and he has no idea how to react to that, and I'm making the exact same expression. Like, is that supposed to be hot? This is all over the place.
Yeah.
So she was 18 years old, then Blossom walks in and asks who is 18, and they panic because Blossom's a girl with delicate ears and can't hear the smut talk, and I hope this is an opportunity for Blossom to like go feminist on them and like highlight her character and the positive traits of the Blossom character, but instead Buzz panics and gives her his hat and takes back the watch and says he has to go.
Yeah, he says he got the hat from Dizzy Gillespie. Blossom's all disappointed that he's not sticking around. And I guess they find out where the mother gets her traits from, right?
Yeah, here we go.
So then we get woe number 7.
Yeah, this was a big one. It says, Mom said that you were there when she needed him. And he goes, oh, I was. I called her from ballrooms and jazz clubs and strip clubs. And Joey goes, whoa, you played for strippers? That's how it played out.
Right.
Anthony comes in looking more and more like Shawn Michaels every episode, I swear.
Yeah, that's what you wrote. I wrote, he's starting to look way more like a lesbian this season.
Okay. Or Shawn Michaels.
He looks like when Susan on Seinfeld was the lesbian for a bit.
That's true. Yeah.
He looks he's got the same haircut, same vest. He looks like Ellen DeGeneres. That's who he looks like.
All right. Yeah, he's probably nicer to the crew, though. Yeah.
Yeah, seriously.
He did, Ellen.
Yeah.
Right? Buzz asks where his girlfriend Toni is, and he says, oh, Tony's just a friend he met in AA. And I wrote, Buzz is an asshole. He says, oh, no drinking, no sex. What do you do together? And Anthony says, talk. And Buzz says, about what? And Anthony says, sex and drinking.
Yeah, it was at this point I wrote, are these episodes out of order? Because they finally explained who Toni is, but it was like the third or fourth scene in the show with no real introduction to the character initially, so...
No.
Weird.
And then Nick. Oh my god, just swaggers in full of attitude, and he's like, when are you leaving, bud?
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, I don't know, I'll be leaving soon. He's like, of course you are, because you know what? Leaving's a Richmond tradition.
Bam.
Oh, right between the eyes. Take
Yeah.
that, you dirty old man. I wrote, yes, this is the Nick I want.
This is it, eh?
This makes sense. I understand the character now. He's still bitter about how life played out, and he's being the bigger person, and he's understanding the responsibility left by his stupid wife, and that's the grudge he holds. And while he usually takes it out on his kids, unfortunately, there's a new alpha dick in the house, and now Nick can take all his dick energy and put it on Buzz, and this is working so great for me.
Maybe the writers thought that too, and that's why they decided to introduce the character.
He has taken his Nick energy and pointed at this stupid old man.
Yeah.
And they just get into it. He's like, oh, just let it go. I had nothing to do with it. And he's just so reserved. And he's like, oh, you did. You taught her everything she knows.
Yeah.
He's not mad. He's just like, yeah, you're trash. You're absolute trash.
Yeah, man.
I'm not even going to get mad.
And I don't blame
there's a
him.
cutaway of Blossom wincing to no audience reaction.
No.
And that ends the scene. Nick is on a rampage this entire episode, and I am here for it. It only gets better.
It sure does. So, the next scene, Joey's going out on a date. Well, he's going to the club with his grandfather. And then he asks Nick about the first time he slept with a girl. And Nick is talking about his first time with his children, which I find it's weird. It's weird.
But he's playing it the right way.
Yeah, I guess so, but...
He's like the approachable dad who actually says at first, like, this is pretty inappropriate, but they continue on, and he's... Okay, this is a safe place. We'll do this.
Yeah, but like,
You know?
I feel like if Blossom asked him that, I feel like he would just be so, like, we can't talk about this. It didn't happen till I was 35.
Blossom has always been his trigger.
I guess so.
And we have talked in length about how he treats the boys, his sons, differently than Blossom.
All right, I'll let it go then.
Yep.
So he proceeds to tell the same story that Buzz did, and it's basically implied that they banged the same woman.
Yeah, I had questions here, but I was so enjoying this episode, I was like, nah, I'm just going to crack the knuckles and lean back and let this happen.
Yeah.
So I also noticed that Joey is dressed and sitting like Slappy, the ventriloquist dummy from Goosebumps.
Yeah, totally. Kind of looks like him.
He was sitting so awkwardly in that suit.
Yeah.
I don't know why. His feet didn't touch the floor. It was weird, man.
That's
it was
hilarious.
Weird. Yeah. It's like someone shrunk him. They put Joey Lawrence in the dryer for too long before this episode. He just looked so small next to Anthony, and then he was in a giant suit. It was funny stuff. He doesn't want to talk about his first time with his kids. And Anthony says, leave it alone, Joey. Maybe it didn't go so well. And that triggers Nick. He's like, whoa, hold on.
Yeah.
It went well. It just went quickly. And I said, we're getting into some deep topic stuff for
I know,
like a
right?
Monday night sitcom, right?
Yeah,
There's
exactly.
a lot going on here. So he talks about how she was a piano player, and she was blonde and had long legs, and Anthony and Joey are reacting perfectly.
Yeah.
This is such a well thought out scene. I like this script. I don't know where this is going, but I really like this script.
They're really into it and really interested in this person now that apparently their grandfather and their father have both hooked up with. Buzz comes and he's taking Joey out to the club. He wants to bring Toni as a chaperone, and Nick obviously tries to protest it, and then he forbids it. And then Buzz actually guilts him. Like Buzz, I don't think we've seen this happen before where Nick gives in to something.
He's in a tough place because Buzz is being such a jerk to him in his own house.
Yeah.
And poor Blossom comes downstairs, who is out of the hug, right? She can't go because she's a girl.
Yeah.
They don't even invite her. But she's all excited. She says, I'm going to cook you breakfast. And Buzz says, well, not too early because we might get lucky in front of Nick.
Yeah.
Like, as a dad, I was like, all right, f this guy. And Nick was like, f this guy.
Yeah, pretty much.
And it's just great.
But normally it's like when Nick puts his foot down, it's like, that's it. But then like Buzz guilts him and he's like,
Well, it's because his kids are so excited.
I guess so, but he's taking a
He's
15-year-old to
already-
a nightclub? Like, that's kind of weird.
And a recovering alcoholic.
Yeah, exactly. So he has every right to protest it, I thought.
Absolutely. But he's also in that tough place where do you want your kids to hate you now that there's someone else that's like cooler than you.
Nah, I guess so.
So he's balancing that. And then so the men leave, and Blossom says, hey, he's not going to be around forever. And he says, don't try to cheer me up. We go to Too Many Cooks, and then we see Blossom doing what, Sal, for the first time? She's in a room, and what's she doing?
She's horribly picking at a guitar.
Yeah, weird.
It's so out of place. So out of place.
Yeah.
So Six walks in the room. She's jealous of Blossom's grandpa, and she's basically wearing a sombrero this time. And I was like, is this a joke? Or, like, did something actually happen to Jenna Voino's hair that, like, they had to cover up? Because, like, it doesn't really go anywhere, but, like, she's wearing these, like, ridiculous hats to cover her hair.
I thought maybe she'd put some chips and salsa in there, and they'd hang out.
Yeah.
But, yeah, Six is jealous because her grandpa's so old, someone comes in and dusts him twice a week. I said, maybe he's not old, Six. Maybe he's dead.
He could be. Maybe you want to go check on him more often.
Yeah. Six is wearing a Devo hat from the Whip It video.
Yeah.
And Blossom ignores this and says she wants a normal family where the dad works 9 to 5, mom bakes cookies, and grandpa sits on the porch exposing himself to people passing by. What? Are you kidding me?
That's hilarious.
That is a line from Blossom.
And that's the end of the scene, too.
That's the end of the scene. That's the ender. That's the bring home moment, is that most normal people have mums that bake cookies, dad that work 9 to 5, and grandpa who sits on the porch and shows people walking by his genitals. That's the joke. That's the joke the writer went with.
That sounds about right. Way to go, Bill Richman.
Oh my god. He is just on top of the world with this. They gave him the pen, and he did not waste a second. The next day, the kids are trying to get to the bottom of it. So Harriet slept with Buzz when she was 18, and Nick when she was 47.
Yeah.
Joey theorizes that maybe she just went around the country being people's first. And I said, God, I hope this episode ends with Joey banging her at like 92.
Right? This is where we get whoa number 8. He goes, whoa, Tales from the Crypt.
Tail from the crypt.
He said tail from the crypt?
Tail from the crypt, Sal. How good is that?
That's brilliant.
That was the moment I paused and laughed. I was like, they are getting away with so much in this episode.
I did not catch that. That's amazing.
Bill Richman is a script writing genius.
Wow.
Tail from the crypt. I have never heard that before.
Good
That
stuff.
is brilliant.
Yeah.
My wife's a year older than me, and guaranteed that's going to replace the annual on her birthday. Some people say she's robbing the cradle. I say I'm robbing the grave joke.
Oh.
All right, the next episode, I'm from the downstairs couch.
Yeah.
Buzz comes in, and Nick is going to go off on him. But before he can, Blossom walks in with a big bag of stuff she bought from her winnings because they went to the racetrack.
Yeah.
And then it just hits the fan in the Russo house, Sal.
It sure does. And I don't blame Nick here. Nick tries to kick him out. Basically, Buzz tells him to relax. Nothing happened. And then this is where he gets mad at him for taking Toni to a bar because he's a recovering alcoholic. And he says,
Yeah.
if having Nick as a father doesn't drive Toni to drink, then nothing will. And this is where I wrote, kick this old man's ass, Nick.
Right? I wrote, knock him the f*** out, Nick.
Yeah.
And the audience doesn't even know what to do. Like, this is such a confusing moment. They don't know what to do, and I don't know what to do. I said, are we supposed to like the Buzz character or hate him?
At this point, I hate him.
Oh, for sure.
Nick kicks him out of the house, and I wrote, good riddance, you old piece of shit. I'm siding with Nick here, man. And the kids, the kids are sitting in the kitchen listening to it, and they're pretty upset. So,
oh, dude, back up.
okay,
He's calling Nick out on his fatherhood. And Nick says, oh yeah, let's talk about fatherhood. Your daughter left her family, and I'm still here 4 years later trying to pick up the pieces. And Buzz says, hey, don't blame me because you're not man enough to hang on to your wife. Oh my god.
yeah, it's some heavy stuff here, man.
Someone giggles in the audience, then stops, realizing, like, wait a minute, this is super harsh. Then yeah, Nick kicks him out of the house, and Buzz says, hey, leaving this place seems to give a lot of people pleasure. What an old ass.
Right?
Oh my god. This is some of the best passive-aggressive into straight-on rude, like, family trash talk I've ever heard on TV.
You actually feel it between, like, you
Oh,
feel
for
like
sure.
the animosity between them.
His kids are all droopy dog at the table. Wouldn't they be on Nick's side? From previous conversations about their mom,
Yeah, you would think so.
it seems like they're kind of anti-mom for leaving.
Yeah.
But here they're like, oh, fat old man's gone.
Next scene, Blossom shows up at Buzz's hotel.
Did you track what she's wearing? Because I said, oh my god, she's dressed like... I can't do this. I don't even know. I can't even describe this. Yeah, it's like a vest and a beret. It's like, she looks like a Boy Scout almost.
As I said, we need the grunge era to kick in and they start wearing like the plaid. Because like
Right?
this fashion is no good.
I have no idea if this is actually mirroring what people were actually wearing at the time.
I would assume. Well, Blossom was a fashion icon in her own right, you know? Like it's... No,
Yes,
I
was
know
she?
it's not
Was that
doing
a
anything
thing?
for it, but man, she was known for her fashion style.
But was she known for her fashion, like cutting edge, or just dressing weird?
That's a good point.
You obviously read this somewhere, so I'm not calling you on it. I'm just like
No,
curious
I just
what you-
remember that. Like I just remember
Really?
it was like a thing, like the Blossom hat. It's like anytime you would see a girl
remember-
in a hat, you'd be
yeah.
like, "Oh, what's up, Blossom?"
I guess I still do that.
Exactly. So do I.
What's up, Blossom? And they have no idea what I'm talking about.
They're like, "Get the fuck away from me, Moby."
Friend zone. Beep, 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 beep. Friend zone. Beep, 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 beep. Friend zone. That's how all this music sounds now.
Yeah.
So I went to a prison riot and I was like, I don't know, there's something off here. I'm getting bad vibes. Anyway, he looks her in the eye and tells her jazz is more important than anything.
Yeah.
That's what Buzz does to his granddaughter Blossom.
Yep. Doesn't she even say like even family? And he's like, yeah. He said he's a 70-year-old jazz musician, and I wrote, man, a 1991 70 looks rough.
Mr. Feeney really let himself go.
Yeah, no kidding, man. Mr. Feeney now looks better than this guy in 1991.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Blossom is wearing a vest. He apparently won from a poker game against Louis Armstrong.
Yeah.
He gave it to his daughter, and she gave it to her daughter, Blossom.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking there's no way in hell that vest would fit the great Louis Armstrong. I'm not the size of a 15-year-old girl. That is not my dimensions. Fat guy in little vest. Oh, damn. A straight. I guess you get my vest, Buzz. Oh, I didn't want to play for my pants now. That's kind of weird.
I lost my watch to Duke Ellington.
He's making poor Louis Armstrong strip after he loses in poker, and Louis Armstrong's just crying. I think to myself, what a wonderful world. He's trying to go to a happy place. I see trees of gray. He's like, shut your mouth, Louis, and take it off. I'm Buzz.
So, but like at this point, I don't know if he's just like a name dropper because he's like he's a total
Yeah.
swindler because he like takes the hat back from Blossom.
I said, are we supposed to just assume he's a compulsive liar at this point?
Yeah.
They don't ever really explain what is happening.
No.
If he's actually famous or if he's just full of crap.
It's very hard to tell because it's like, yeah, he's a famous musician, but he's also a deadbeat ass.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I just don't get it. He says he hates the road. Blossom says maybe he's going through a midlife crisis. Just then, a lady named Linda that he clearly banged comes out of the shower. What in the
Right?
is going on here?
I don't blame her for showering, though.
Yeah, right?
There's this weird vibe where, to make it even worse, he calls Blossom his niece. And she kind of goes along with it like, this stupid girl will believe anything.
Right.
And then Blossom's kind of like, so you lie to women to get them to sleep with you, do you? Winky, winky, grandpa. This is exactly the opposite direction the Blossom character should be going in at this point.
Yeah, it's weird.
She should be like, you old dick. Seriously.
Right?
Like, this is what you've done with your life.
Yeah.
You're 72, you have no job, you lie to women to get them to sleep with you.
He thinks with his old dick.
She Easy, Adam Duritz. That's what he calls it. And then she kind of turns on him.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, I'm out of here. And he goes, well, I'll send you postcards. And she goes, don't. Between you and my mom, I have plenty of postcards. I was like, yeah, give this idiot hell.
Yeah, so Nick is at the piano and Blossom comes in, tells him that she went to go see Buzz. And she kind of guilts him a little bit here. And you know what? Like, this guy. Like, he's starting to turn his children on Nick.
Yeah, oh, totally. And now he has to deal with his stupid deadbeat wife, and now his stupid deadbeat wife's dad.
Yeah.
Just making things worse. It's like, how could it get any worse? Oh, he's coming back.
Blossom starts calling him out. And, I mean, I guess Nick's not wrong here. He says he's not stopping Blossom from having a relationship with Buzz or her mom, you know?
Yeah. And then, I don't know why, but Blossom starts telling Nick that, I think Buzz is trying to change this. Where did she get that from?
Yeah, like nothing he said in that conversation says that he wanted to change as a person.
Yeah. Nick is killing it in this episode because he says, hey, I'm not the one stopping you from having a relationship with your grandfather. Your grandfather is doing that. Love this episode. Love this Nick.
So the doorbell rings, and it's Buzz, and Nick slams the door in his face.
Which was really funny.
Yeah. Buzz then says he's decided to stick around for a while, spend time with his grandkids.
And then they shake hands, and Nick leans in and says, if you hurt my kids, I'll break your legs.
Yeah.
Great. I could not throw this man out of my house fast enough.
Right?
I know the show has to progress, and it's actually quite clever because they're taking the energy of the deadbeat mom without bringing her back.
Right, yeah.
They can have that constant quarrel of the mom leaving without bringing the mom character back to the story.
Yeah.
So it's pretty smart in that way. There's going to be a lot of legs for this new character, I
Sure, but I don't know. Yeah, I guess so. I guess you're right.
Because that's kind of the biggest conflict that set the show off.
Yeah.
So it's their way to pay that off without
actually having the mother around.
The mom moved in across the street now.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I wasn't sure how I felt about Buzz Richman at the end of this episode, to be honest. I mean, I guess we'll see where it goes. He clearly sticks around, I'm pretty sure, for the rest of the series.
Oh, God. I don't like him.
I don't like his voice.
I don't like looking at him.
Yeah.
I don't like to think of this 72-year-old compulsive liar nailing women in the hotel room. There's just nothing about him I like. I don't like how he talks to Nick, to be honest. I feel like Nick would just completely cut that guy out of his life and deal with the wrath of his kids.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what he kind of did. And it's like, if he moves in with them, it's like, come on.
I hope not, too, but I feel like he's here to stay.
Yeah, he's in the opening credits, so clearly. And I just want to know, like, what focus group after season 1 was like, we need to add a new character. Well, it's got to be a grouchy old man.
David Spade isn't answering his phone, so
yeah.
let's get this guy.
Yeah.
There's so much right with this episode. I was willing to just see where it goes and not judge it too harsh, but I feel like Nick would just completely sever ties.
Right.
Nick would be a guy with a zero bullshit filter.
Yeah,
when
he
it
just
comes
wouldn't
to
put up
this.
with it.
Especially since it was his wife that left.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It doesn't even sound like when him and his wife were on good terms that he had a good relationship with this guy, so...
And especially since Nick, these two, not only his wife, but his father-in-law, are both living the dream of the musician.
Right.
And you got to think deep down, Nick secretly
he resents
wants
them for
that
it, for sure, yeah.
and resents them for it.
Yeah.
Because they don't care.
The episode wraps up here where they're trying to find common ground together. They're opposites on all sports teams, and they both land on the fact that they like blondes. And then they both reminisce about banging Harriet Hilton.
Yeah.
And they figure it out.
Yep.
And that's when the kids walk in the room just as they figure it out, and they do this moment where they turn around and leave.
Well, Anthony palms Blossom's head and turns her around, and that was another great...
Yeah.
You know that was probably just done from the actor.
Yeah.
Just did it.
Just an in-the-moment thing where he just, he just palms her head and turns her around, and they all go back into the kitchen, and the episode ends on a freeze frame of Nick and Buzz staring at each other in shock. And that's a wrap on episode 2.
5 stars for me. That had everything.
Yeah.
I had personal connection to the situation and the characters, and I gelled with Nick for the first time in a long time. And I get him now.
All right.
And everything was on track with the character development. I didn't feel like anybody really acted out of character, you know? There really wasn't a whole lot of Joey and Blossom. It was really Nick and Buzz.
Yeah.
Which was good, you know? Blossom can take the week off.
Yeah, I liked it. I don't think I loved it, but I liked it for sure.
I was a big fan. This is the good stuff.
I'm interested to see where things go with a new character on the show. Now there's a whole new element.
Yeah, he's their Urkel.
His pants are high enough.
Speaking of high enough, what's next episode, Sal?
Well, next episode, season 2, episode 3, The Joint.
They're talking about drugs, Sal. I was gonna wear a stupid hat.
Then I got high.
Oh.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-da.
What a great song.
He drops his 7-Eleven taquitos. Be like,
Hold
Moby's
on.
striking out over there.
He's got like his version of the spider sense. His dreads go horizontal like an octopus. Someone's striking out with Alicia Silverstone.